The following show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Now, which one are you periscoping through? Which account?
From DickNutButt420.
Oh yeah. By the way, where did you come up with that name?
Actually, I can't take credit for it. I was watching. It was probably like 3 years ago. I was watching Jimmy Fallon and Hugh Jackman arm wrestling, and they were telling each other what they were gonna do when they won. And towards the end of it, Jimmy Fallon was like, "When I win, I'm gonna take your name and I'll forever be known as Jack Human." And Hugh Jackman was like, "I'm not gonna take your name. No, I'm gonna change my name to Dick Nutbutt." And I just lost my shit. And then, like, last year, somebody on my Facebook friends list changed their name to Phil Collins and put their status as they were feeling the love in the air tonight. I was like, you can do that? You can change your name? So I went and changed it to Dick Nutbutt and got kicked off Facebook. They said it was inappropriate. So I went to Twitter.
Okay, well, I just retweeted that Periscope account, so everybody on my podcast will be able to watch it.
Perfect. All right, are you all good to go, Sid?
I am almost done.
All right.
You got like 1 minute? I gotta go.
Oh yeah.
Myself. Gotta grab a cold one. Sorry.
Oh yeah, no problem. And roll the intro. All right,
and we're go.
All right, cool. We're all good to go. All right, so we got. Excuse me, Jesus Christ. Sorry about that. All right, we got Cooper Harrison, 2015's funniest man in the country, right? Said that right?
Close. I wish so.
Did I?
Funniest man in the country. That'd be quite an achievement. But 2015 finalist for best comedian in social media.
Social media, hey.
Yeah.
That's where everybody starts out anyway.
That
social media.
will be the world anyways.
Right?
Everybody's on Facebook 24/7.
It was really an honor to be nominated by the public, actually, who helped me get that award. So I have all the fans to thank for that, for always supporting me. Especially for me that wanted to try and do something different when I started the career in comedy. I didn't want to go on stage yet. I wanted to get my name out there in social media, and I started doing that for a year and a half, and then next thing you know, the people nominated me for that category, and I was truly honored by that. So I've just been rolling with it since with that.
Nice. Yeah, and like nowadays, like, yeah, social media is a lot better than being countrywide, because that's worldwide. It's everywhere.
Absolutely. Social media, like, this is the best way of connecting with people now, especially for guys like me that can't really afford to do much and go out and meet people. I'm too busy paying for all the stuff that I believe in doing, like my podcast, buying equipment and stuff like that. So people don't understand how focused I am in this industry, and it's like a 24/7 job to have, man. But sometimes you won't get paid for the stuff you do, but you gotta have passion for what you do the most.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's when we were talking to quite a few other people, that's what I realized was they've been doing it for like upwards of 10 years before they even get their first paycheck. So like, and that's a lot of people will try to reach out and try to get help from people. Like, well, if you commission me, well, you know, we're kind of doing it for free. We'd like the same thing. You know, we'll promote for you. Hell yeah, but a lot of people don't realize how hard it is.
I'm very lucky that I came across on. I was doing a podcast now for 6 years. I've been bouncing to different places. At first, it started off as a sports radio review show on Blog Talk Radio in 2009, and then from there I jumped to Spreaker for a quick short time, and then about 2-3 years ago I found Podomatic, and they've been fantastic. They send me messages about if they need help with updates for the website. They're always asking their fans what they can do to make it better, and they promote my show as much as possible. So they treat their podcasters and fans like family, which is the best thing about that.
Nice. Oh yeah. I think that's how I first heard you was through Podomatic, through their Twitter, and. Yeah, I started looking through, and
I'm very lucky. The people that run it, the guy's name is Matt. He's a great guy, and yeah, he always stays connected with me about anything that's having issues with the app. I'm one of those guys that's always caring about the app if they do updates or anything like that.
Yeah.
People don't understand that like reviews are so important, and I know like people don't really like put in the effort to give a review of what they think of a show or a podcast. Like. If I can recommend anything of people doing, go to like your Netflix account after you watch something, rate it. Don't just leave it be, because those things are so important for people, and I'm just very grateful I came across these guys, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes to help them back.
Oh yeah, and that's when you're saying with the Netflix, like that's how Stranger Things got big overnight. Everybody was rating it.
That was a great show. I love that show. I didn't know what it was until a couple of my buddies put it on, and we started watching the first episode, and we were zoned in.
Yeah.
Compared to that show and Narcos, those Netflix shows are amazing to watch right now.
Oh yeah.
Netflix has just been doing an amazing job with damn near everything they put out.
Absolutely. They've been around for since God, I was in high school.
Yeah.
They started off as just this basically a booth where you could just get in there, and then you would just rent the video there and then just return it back. That's how Netflix started. It's just amazing how much it's revolutionized now the new world.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that was the coolest thing when I was growing up, was going on there and putting movies into the Netflix queue and then running out and checking the mailbox and oh my god! Now I just sit right here in my apartment on my lazy fat ass and I turn my PlayStation on and I start watching.
It's amazing now with apps now that are out. It's just making life a lot more easier for people just to sit around and do nothing.
Yeah.
That's basically what's going on.
Well, it's what I've aspired to do in life, and thank God for corporate America, because now I can achieve that dream.
Right. I'm gonna pull us down real quick. I think that was a little too bright on my face.
Well, now we can't see your face.
No, now you can. Boom! Magic! Alright, so the first question that I had written down here was, when did you decide that you wanted to become a comedian?
When I was 22 years old, I was living in Ottawa, I've been around in the broadcast industry since I was 15 years old. I was volunteer work. I was going to cable televisions, and I was working behind the scenes there, learning how to work a camera, learning how to do audio. And when I was 22, I feel like I needed something more. I was struggling with just having a basic life, and I needed something different. And then I started thinking about something that makes me enjoy things, because at the time I was trying to do commentary for hockey. I was trying that for a career, and that didn't go too well for me because of my vocabulary skills. You have to have really good English in order to be a commentator, and you gotta know how to pronounce their last names, which I could not do. So I just decided that like making people laugh, all of a sudden something clicked in my head where I was like, you know what? Coop the comedian, or Cooper the comedian. That's what originally I went by, and that sounded really good to me. And then I started looking up everything about comedy. I started looking up different comedians, and from there I just started learning every day something new about comedy. I was looking up comedy stand-up specials. I did not know anything about the industry when I was 22 years old. Now, almost 4 years into comedy, I've known people like Hannibal Buress and Ralphie May. I didn't know names like that back then.
Yeah.
And it's just incredible of learning something new about the industry. And you gotta have a true passion if you want to keep doing something. So comedy is something that I've just had a huge passion for, and making people laugh is something that's just it's a great feeling.
Yeah.
You know, making people laugh and smile is something that just brightens your day whenever something is low. And so I've just been having so much fun doing with this. And then stand-up is actually something I started at the beginning of January 2016. I struggled with getting booked at stages or at clubs. And then I decided it was time to hire a comedy coach. So I hired one from Periscope named Eric Haber. He took me in his class for about 12 weeks, and he helped me build a whole new set together. And I've been rolling with this set since the beginning of the year. I'm getting a lot of great reviews about it, because mostly it's just stoner jokes I'm working on right now. You know, stoner jokes, Pokemon, that's sort of my area where I'm trying to go with right now, where I'm just a really relaxed guy. So I've been having so much fun with it, and I look forward to probably doing this for the rest of my life.
Nice. I'm really looking forward to seeing more. I was watching the comedy reel that you have on your Facebook earlier today. And
oh, the demo reel.
Yeah.
The last stand-up I had was at Yuck Yucks, and that's a big name here in Canada. So it was a really good feeling knowing that I got to videotape that set. And I was getting laughs at that set, which was amazing. So they wanted me to go back there. It's just all about timing. My writing that I do, it's so hard to write good jokes. Not many people know that like most of the stuff that comedians write, they won't use, and it's not even that funny. So on an average, I only write one good joke a week. But I try multiple times of sending out Twitter or tweets to see if people will laugh at that, and probably once a week I'll get something really good. So
Yeah.
it's so hard, but I love doing it.
Yeah, it's every now and then I'll be walking down the road and I'm like, oh my god, that's funny as hell, I gotta hurry up and tweet that. But
sometimes you don't even need to tell jokes. Something just funny usually happens around people, and people get to laugh at it. It's just the world is full of humor.
Yeah.
And it's sad sometimes that people are trying to be more downers in this world. With more people, more problems. That's one of my quotes, because you know, a lot more people are negative these days, especially with the social media. People are hiding their faces, and a guy like me wants to try and bring a positive attitude to people. So it's I would say that we're a dying breed. These nice people are.
Oh yeah. Did you have any question you wanted to ask, Sid?
Yes. Sorry, my brain is still wrapped. I set up OBS in like 0 time flat, and I'm kind of still too sober to function. Stoners.
No worries. It's I come from a podcast where my co-host is called the Coop's Corner Drunk. So I think we do a pretty good job with inspiring each other when we do our podcast. We understand.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, I'd like to know what you say. You're talking about positivity here. What would you say about extremely negative people with more of a dark sense of humor?
Everybody
brings positivity through, just...
Here's one of my quotes that I'll probably die with. Sometimes the funniest people in the world aren't funny. And that's because everybody's got their own different opinions of every different person out there. Everybody's got a different sense of humor. Sometimes some of the people in the funny, like George Carlin, he's one of the greatest in the world, and some people don't like his humor. And some people really like dark humor. And my job as a comedian is adjusting to whatever the crowd is reacting to. So you just got to go out there, and anything that for a comedian, if you want to write jerk jokes, clean jokes, childish jokes, or anything like that, if you're making people laugh, that's my job. The negative people are always going to try and bring people down. I like dark jokes. I like people with like a dark sense of humor because they come from a tough life. So they're also telling a story when they're trying to express these jokes as well. So everybody's got their own sense of humor. I try to be very open-minded, as long as the people aren't really assholes. There are people out there that go and try to stand up, and they're just complete assholes on stage. But I was one of those people until I started taking classes because I didn't understand how to write jokes properly. Everybody's got their own sense of humor. I enjoy everything all around though.
Yeah, and I think there's also a way in like the delivery, like you could tell a dark joke. I think it was, I can't remember who it was exactly. I want to say it was Mitch Hedberg. Told some joke about it, and if it would have been told in a different tone, it would have been horrible because it was about rape. But the way that he had said it, it was funny, and everybody was rolling. But yeah, like if somebody is telling a dark joke, you can say it with a happier inflection in your voice and make something fucked up sound pretty funny.
We live in a crazy time right now in comedy because there was a comedian named Mike Ward who's been all over the news, and he got fined $30,000 for telling a joke about there was a kid that saw the Pope, and he's got a disability, and Mike Ward made a joke about it, and he found it really offensive, so the family sued him and won it in court, and thinking it was a hate crime. So it's just we live right now in a very mixed world where what is the line that's what you can say and what you can't say.
I would say it really depends on the company you're in, whether or not there's a camera.
That's also a good thing too. If somebody has the camera around, then most likely anybody can get in shit. But if that's a lot of reasons why people sometimes are not allowed having cameras at shows or anything like that, because they don't want stuff to go viral with stuff that they say. They're testing out material at open mics, and some people are just trying to get views for videotaping or something like that. So I went to a Kevin Hart concert in October, and all around the arena it said, "Please do not take out cell phones," everywhere. And yet people were still videotaping the very beginning of the set. So it's like you have this MC that was telling people to put your phones away, and still people are ignoring it just because it's Kevin Hart and they want to get views in that. So it's just when comedians want to write stuff and they just want to test material out, they don't know what the reaction is going to be on stage. So it's just with social media these days, you can easily get out and somebody can get in easy trouble.
Oh yeah, really quick.
I've been trying to write some dark jokes. I mean, like there's one that I'm working on right now. I feel like I've had to work extra hard compared to an ordinary person. Sort of like a midget in a wheelchair trying to climb stairs.
Oh god.
It's crazy, and I've gotten mixed emotions from that. And I actually have a friend that's in a wheelchair, and I told her, I was like, what do you think of that joke? And she's like, just roll with it. It's crazy what people will react to and what people find offensive.
Yeah.
But it's just, as a comedian, you gotta ignore everything and just say what's on what you believe. And just, my job is just to try and make people laugh. That's all.
And do a damn good job of it.
Yeah.
So
those are jokes, works in progress. I'm still working on right now, but they get oohs and ahs, and some people like it, some people don't. It's just really fun to do though.
Oh yeah, there are always those shock laughs too.
I've actually got a few of them where I've actually one of my dark jokes. I come from my parents grew up divorced, so I lived mostly with my mother at the time, so I don't talk to her anymore. So now I'm just making a bunch of jokes trying to insult her on stage. So that's where I'm going with my dark jokes right now, where I'm trying to just do a full 5-minute set of just making fun of her on stage. So.
Oh, that would be good. We'll have to see that. All right. So, who are 3 of your favorite comedians? I know you say you started out, in your 20s. Who are some of your favorite comedians that you've discovered since you've started?
Some of the first comedians that when I started looking up stand-up, one of them is a man named John Panette, who is no longer with us. He was a great comedian, and he mostly just talked about food. So that's why I enjoyed it. He was just this big guy who was just always making jokes about food and him eating at buffets and everything, and he was great. And if anybody wants to look him up, he's really funny. He's no longer with us. He was actually on one of the last episodes of Seinfeld, I believe. He was in a cab or something like that. I have to do more research on that, but I just know I think he was part of that. The comedians that influence me right now, Jimmy Carr has got to be like top guy. His jokes, they're one-liners, they're quick, and it's really funny. Just the 6-second responses and hearing the punchline after it makes me continuously laugh, especially his kind of humor. The other comedians, Dave Chappelle, that'd be another one. Dave Chappelle, I always gotta give love to Dave Chappelle.
Oh yeah.
Man, there's just so many out there. Ralphie May. He's another one. He's one of the greatest of all times. And there's even comedians that I still like that probably people don't know. Bobby Slayton. He's the Pitbull of comedy, and he's been around for almost 20 years in the industry. And he's also one of those dark humor guys. So that's another of my favorite guys. I forget his name, but he was in Half Baked as well with Dave Chappelle. He was the other really stoner guy.
Okay.
He was
Jim Brewer.
Yeah, Jim Brewer, that's him. Yeah, I've seen a couple of his stuff in his stand-up. He's actually really good too.
Yeah, I watched one of his earlier ones from, I want to say it was shortly after or shortly before Half Baked came out, and you could just see he was ripped. He was so stoned during the entire thing. He just came in like,
that's definitely him, and that's probably why a lot of people have liked his style.
Yeah,
because he's one of those stoner guys.
Yeah.
I'm actually there are comedians out there I haven't even watched their stuff, like Cheech and Chong. I've never even seen a Cheech and Chong yet.
What?
Yeah, so it's crazy. That's how far I am and how much I need to catch up in the industry. So
I've watched the Up and Smoke.
Yeah, I haven't even watched that yet with Up and Smoke. So yeah, a lot of people will probably give me shit for that. Yeah, people can do that on social media. Call me out for that. I gotta get
Have
on.
you ever seen that 70s show?
That 70s show, I've seen episodes of that. Not too many.
I think it was Tommy Chong was in the later seasons.
Yeah, he was Chong was a pretty predominant character, just a really big stoner in that one too.
Oh,
He ran a photo booth, and it was hilarious.
I'll have to look that stuff up because I need to know more about this as a comedian because there's stuff I don't even watch.
I'll find links and send them to you. Yeah, those ones. I think those were my favorite episodes with Chong and them.
With the comedy that I grew up, I didn't really watch those like Friends. I didn't watch stuff like that, reality shows. I was more of the animated guy. I watched The Simpsons. I watched Family Guy. I watched King of the Hill, American Dad. Those were my kind of humors growing up. And yet, since it was mostly like Seth MacFarlane that was making me laugh a lot, they're pretty offensive in their cartoons and that. So that's probably why I had such a great sense of humor, because I was laughing at stuff that I didn't know if it was offensive or not. I was just laughing.
Yeah.
But those were the stuff that I grew up watching. Is especially Family Guy was one of my favorites.
Yeah, like I was laughing at a joke on one of the more recent Family Guy episodes, and then it clicked, and I realized that the entire fucking series, Peter Griffin is a pedophile. And they finally actually say it in one of the episodes. And like when they said it, I busted up laughing, but then I was like thinking, wait a minute. Oh my god, he's a pedophile. And like
there's some really fucked up realities going on in Family Guy. If you really think about like Bonnie and I want to say Clyde, but that's not his name.
They're running out of ideas. I think they probably need to stop the show soon at some point, because I was a really fan of the old school ones, like the first season, second season. Those were the best. Season were still good after when they came back. They still had jokes coming out, but you can tell the style was different, and it's definitely losing its edge. So.
Oh yeah,
I feel the final nail in the Family Guy coffin should have been the Dead Brian episode.
They should have just.
Been a crazy way for that to go out, but.
I didn't think when they announced that Brian was gonna die, I didn't think it was gonna last. And then when they introduced Vinny, I was like, that's not gonna last. And like 2 episodes later, Brian was back.
With social media, it makes it a lot more easier for people to look up if stuff is actually happening. Just imagine a life if we didn't have internet. We couldn't look up spoilers or anything like that for shows. When that happened, I had to look right away. No, this can't be happening. Brian is dead? No. So when I looked it up, it said that they brought in this Vinny character to do for 6 episodes at least. So that made sense. Okay, so this dog's only there for a short period of time. So there's got to be a way where Stu must have went back and healed everything. But I'm still surprised the Simpsons are still rolling. They're still going, but I haven't seen an episode of the new ones in years.
Well, the Simpsons is unique in the fact that their entire comedic formula is just a joke about what's going on currently. Those super trendy things.
Yeah. The writing staff for them is fantastic, because what they did is they just look at real life people, everybody around you. So they did a fantastic job with that one. I'm a huge fan of King of the Hill, and I
want that to come back.
Watch that all the time. It's really hard for people to find that. It's not even on Netflix, I don't think.
No, it was for a little while, and then they took it off.
Oh, bum.
I was so pissed because it was in my queue, and I went to watch it one day, and I was like, wait, where King of the Hill go? And I was searching for it. I spent hours, and then I sent Netflix a really angry message hoping that they'd put it back, and they told me if I messaged them again, they'd delete my account.
Oh, they were that hardcore about that, eh?
I was pretty pissed.
On Netflix, I really love watching this BoJack Horseman. They do a fantastic job with that. Especially on social media, you can always talk to BoJack on Twitter, and he'll sometimes respond to you.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one took me a minute to get into. I mostly I didn't notice, even though that Will Arnett does BoJack, I didn't notice that he was on there. I noticed it because of Aaron Paul, and I was like, all right, I gotta watch Jesse and something else now, and like the whole show is really good. It took me probably a couple episodes to really get into it, but that's really good.
It's a really dark show too. It's a great show to watch. I love it. This will shock people that I haven't barely watched any episodes of Breaking Bad. Actually, you know what? I've only seen one episode of Breaking Bad. That's insane.
I just went back and finally finished the series, and oh my god, that was a good show.
I'll have to watch like a whole season of it when the time comes. You gotta wait for that right time and just watch it.
Yeah. Yep.
Every episode like that.
Yeah, I kept passing over it quite a few times. I was like, nah, some other time. And then I got really stoned one night, and I was like, now's the time.
Well, another thing, what I do on my spare time is I listen to podcasts all the time. I'm always listening to comedy podcasts. I'm always listening to What's a Fool podcast. Felipe Esparza is actually a comedian that won Last Comic Standing, and I met him through Periscope. And now I listen to his podcast every week, and he connects with his fans all the time. And podcasts are also a way of just killing time when I'm doing video editing, and I can just listen to some humor. Like Comedy Bang Bang is one of my favorite shows to watch, and just it's your own product too.
Yeah,
when you do your own podcast. So I just enjoy everything about comedy.
Oh yeah, I'll admit I'm starting to get into the podcast because I didn't understand what the hell they were at first, and Blake said he wanted to start doing a hijinks podcast to try to get another way of getting our name out there, and so I started looking into them. So that's something I gotta start looking into more.
We really enjoy doing the podcast because mostly what we do is we just like to get high and drunk, and then sometimes look up weird news about what's going on in the world, because there are a lot of weird stuff that happens every day. And helping to post weird news is just one of my favorite things to look up.
You look like you wanted to say something, Sid.
Chinese news is always fun to read.
Chinese news?
If you can find English translated Chinese news, just specifically headlines, some of them are just so over the top. Like, boyfriend commits suicide because his girlfriend was shopping too much. They were at the mall. It was like Christmas.
Whoa, now that's fucked. I'm telling you right now, like, people, there are way worse things out there than getting mad at your girlfriend for shopping.
It was just sensationalized. It was completely unrelated, but she just happened to be near him with a bunch of shopping bags when he jumped.
There's been some people that have done crazy things. I saw a story about somebody randomly getting naked inside of a Burger King or something like that. And then just like dancing around or something like that.
That sounds like a typical Cooper, Washington.
I was gonna say I thought I heard something about that around here not too long ago. Somebody's flipping out at a Burger King or McDonald's or something.
The recent weird news in Canada here is somebody actually has stolen a truck that had $10,000 worth of maple syrup in it. Like, it's maple syrup. Somebody went to a Costco's Kirkland brand, and there was a bunch of maple syrup in the back of the truck, and somebody apparently just took off with the truck, and now over $10,000 of maple syrup is missing.
See, that joke just wrote itself.
Yeah, it didn't even have to be a joke. It's that
happened.
That's a true Canadian story, isn't it? And you make maple syrup worth something.
Yeah. Why isn't that in the headlines?
Yeah, well, it made headlines in Canada, but I'm not sure if it's worthy in America.
Okay.
It's like, why would Americans want to pay attention to maple syrup? That's just...
We're trying to ignore our election.
Yeah.
Everybody is trying really hard to ignore it, but you really can't ignore it.
No.
Because this is going to be changing the way your country's going to go for the next 4 years.
Yeah. I was really, really, really hoping that out of everybody that Sanders was going to get in, and then I saw us between Trump and Clinton, and I got scared. I was really scared.
It's too bad Bernie didn't win, man, but in Canada here, we're lucky enough that we have the Liberal Party in power, and they promised to legalize marijuana by spring 2017, or decriminalize it. So we're very lucky to have that party.
Yeah, we just got told that the feds are going to keep it on the same list as heroin.
Oh, God.
Yeah. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, Colorado, the first month alone, like, come on. You guys are fucking
make so
retarded.
much money in Colorado now.
Yeah.
Because they realized it. That was the right thing. America will jump on board, but there's so many loopholes that probably they have to go through. I'm not sure if you guys have dispensaries down there. You guys probably do.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
But right now in Canada, they're raiding all the dispensaries in Canada. So they want to try and get everything off this. They want to take care of all the dispensaries and make sure they're government controlled. So it's a really weird situation right now with it, and people aren't happy. We'll put it that way.
Yeah.
Why? I don't understand why you couldn't set up sort of a system like Oregon or Washington has, where they're independently owned dispensaries that are supplied by. It's all taxed along the way.
Yeah.
But
I still need to do research about how the system's gonna go through and everything. But all I know is all the dispensaries are getting raided, and it's mostly because government wants full control of everything. They don't want anybody illegally giving it out in the streets or anything like that. It's just the government being the government. I mean, the same thing happened with alcohol, where it was bad, and then the government had to take control of it. Same thing with casinos. Casinos were independently owned, and then the government wanted to get in there, and then they took over. And then it's just how the system works with the government. Once they find something that they can take advantage of, then there's nothing really we could do except just accept it.
Bend right over and spread the cheeks.
Take it.
All right. So, what's one of your personal favorite memories since you've started doing? I know you haven't been doing too many stand-up. Well, it's the 8th month of this year. So, what's your personal favorite memory since you started stand-up?
Since I started stand-up, going to Montreal was pretty big for me. Montreal has the biggest comedy festival in the world, the Just for Laugh Comedy Festival, and it was an honor being in Montreal and being at a club that helped host one of the Just for Laugh venues there, and just the fan base in Montreal, and they love their comedy so much. So it was a great feeling for me traveling all the way to the city of laughter and just practicing, or not practicing, but doing my open mic that I've worked on so hard. And that meant a lot to me because I had friends supporting me there for the first time. I had my own videographer, a professional videographer, doing the footage for it. So it was a really special moment for me when that happened.
Nice. Yeah, I kind of want to go up there to one of those sometime and get some video, because it's a big event, like for comedy and stuff, like the Comic-Con and stuff. Yeah, that'd be cool to go to. Still want to go to one of those, but the Montreal Comedy Fest, that's been one that I've wanted to go to for a while. Not necessarily to perform there, but just to go watch and see other people. Because I think I'd probably piss my pants if I got on stage up at something like that.
I've come very close to doing that. Especially if there's so many nerves that go through you before you do your set, because you don't know how the crowd is going to react. You don't know what you're going to be like on stage. For a guy like me, I don't work the crowd. I focus on doing my set, seeing what works, what doesn't, and the hard part for me is remembering everything on stage. When I go on stage, I memorize a script. I come from a broadcasting background, so I look at a script and I time it in my head and see if it works. That would probably be my only issue, is what I'm struggling with, is my timing and how, learning that. Because if you're too short or you're too long with your set, you might not get called back to the club. So it's like your one chance to make an impression, and if you get called back, then they'll keep bringing you back. And if you don't, well, then you gotta keep looking for a club that will allow you to be there. So
what would you say the optimum time you found is? You haven't performed very much live in clubs.
No.
But have you found sort of an optimum time that you can get your jokes out and still have the right type of delivery?
Periscope actually is where I practice a lot of my material, because sometimes Periscope gets twice the audience like a normal club does.
Yeah.
It's just people on the internet that want to come quickly watch. and it's usually just me practicing my sets. So sometimes I'll have people on Skype that will try and give me feedback when they're watching it live when I'm practicing. And for a comedian, you have to find a club that you can go to and practice every week. It's like a gym. If you go up there, you'll get better. If you don't be consistent at it, well, you're never gonna, go far. You'll just be the same. So for me, I live in a very small town of 10,000 people, and we don't have a place for me to go up weekly and do a comedy show. So I have to look up places in Vancouver and travel for an hour and a half just to go to an open mic and back. So the traveling for me is really difficult, but all the practice that I've been doing from classes have really helped pay it off for it.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, that's what a lot of people that want to try to get into it don't realize it takes work. It's not just, if it's a hobby, then go ahead and play around with it every now and then, but if you're wanting to do it, then it takes work and time and a lot of work, especially if we're doing stuff like you're doing. Like, some people don't realize exactly how much work it takes.
The most important thing is have fun doing it.
Oh yeah.
Because, man, every day you learn something new, and you stay humble in the industry. You work hard. When I went to the Just for Laugh Festival this year, I volunteered. So a part of the festival, I got to help out, I got to be around comedians, and actually they assign you different jobs. Like sometimes you'll walk the comedians to their venues, so you get to be around the comedians, and
nice.
And it's just, you don't even have to present yourself on stage. Just being a part of the festival is already special enough to me.
Yeah. Nice. All right. 40. Okay. It's 40 after already. All right.
Yeah, with me, I sometimes ramble on, but I enjoy talking. So.
I honestly didn't. It didn't feel like it was only 15, 20 minutes already.
Sometimes if you have so much fun, time cruises, man.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. I wish I would travel that fast.
What were you saying, Sid?
I didn't realize it had already been 40 minutes.
Oh.
I love it. I pay attention and not fidget.
Hey, no, you guys, this has been great. I love you guys and what you guys do, and you guys have been trying to build your own brand, which is really awesome, especially for anybody out there that want to inspire from you guys. Just anybody that's watching this right now, if you have a passion for doing something like what you guys are doing right now, keep building your own brand.
Yeah.
Because that's how the way the world works now. It's just, and then try and find people to collaborate with. That would probably be my best advice. Is more collaboration with anybody helps you go a long way.
Oh yeah. Free promotions. We will promote for you for free.
Shit, everybody loves free shit.
Right.
I right now have a shop where people are skeptical about buying because they don't know what the product is. But if you say, all right, well, we'll just give you this one for free. Well, then, yay! It's just, the world likes free shit. And, I wish I could be able to afford doing it every day. A guy like me is pretty broke, and I live in Canada, so it's worth less value down here. So I have to really work hard just to try and be able to afford doing stuff.
Yeah, and we're about to start losing value down here too, especially if Trump takes over. Okay, so one of the other questions I had, and this came from watching the demo reel, and I'm actually going to ask another question from this because of what you said. For when you were nominated, I saw on the list Mindy Kaling was also nominated.
Oh yeah.
And did you know who she was when you were on the same list, and how was that feeling when you're like, oh my god, like when I saw that, I was like, holy shit, seriously, like, dude, we gotta get this guy on. Like,
it was a really big honor just being part of that group of people. How the Shorty Awards have changed since I was part of it. How the awards went is they would be a nominating committee for all the journalists around the world. They would pick 3 people that they think are the best in social media, which those 3 people were Mindy Kaling, Jenny Slate, and Hannibal Buress. And Hannibal Buress was definitely a part of there, and he destroyed Bill Cosby's career. So it's that's why he was there. The other positions were given to people to nominate people to vote into that category. So anybody could have been voted in that category if they had like the top 3 in voting. I found out about the awards a year before it happened, so I was preparing for it, and I started my campaign the first day, and until the very last minute when I closed. It came down to just 40 votes at the very last minute, like 5 minutes into the closing. And I was lucky enough. I made it in the top 3. I came 3rd. If somebody else would have voted me out there, I would not be in the position I am today. So it's just I'm really grateful about being among those people. And the awards have changed now, where you're not allowed voting people anymore. It's just now they pick whoever they think is the best. So it's a different platform, and I was really lucky enough that I was one of the last people that was part of that voting system, because I would definitely not have been picked. if it was down the road, I definitely would not be best at social media. But my fans spoke up. They believed in me from the very beginning to the very end, and I'm just so grateful about that opportunity.
Nice. All right. Is there any other questions you want to ask real quick, Sid?
Just what kind of advice you could give for just people who are just getting into comedy? What is one solid piece of advice you took from other comedians that you feel is worth passing on?
There are tons of things that you can do in the comedy industry. If it's stand-up, if it's writing a book, if it's like screenwriting or script writing, it could be doing voiceovers, anything like that. One piece of advice, focus on one thing at a time instead of being all over the place. Because your brain, if you're trying to focus on multiple things, you won't be able to use your full potential doing that one thing. So that's one thing that I've learned down the road. I've learned not to be all over the place. Now I'm focusing on this year on my stand-up, and it's extremely hard just doing that. So best advice is just work on one thing at a time before you're all over the place thinking about ideas.
Shit. My bad. I was holding it in, and I thought it went away, and then I opened my mouth, and it just started coming. Oh, that's what she said. So.
Sometimes the Aaron is way funnier than me. It's just funny to laugh sometimes.
All right. So, is there any plugs, any shout-outs, any upcoming shows, or obviously you got a podcast also, and anything you want to promote?
I do have a show on September 22nd. That would be my next open mic. If anybody is interested about looking that up, you can check out our website, coopscorner.info, where you can learn everything about who I am, what the podcast is about. You can check out our YouTube channel. We're really pushing to hopefully get 1,000 subscribers this year for the YouTube channel. So we're at 448, so we're almost at 500. We're halfway there almost. So it would be great if anybody wants to come check us out there. Come give us a shout out on our podcast on Twitter. We always follow people back there because we're pretty laid back. I like laying back a lot, but you can check us out on Periscope. We love doing live shows on Periscope, and just enjoy the ride, because there's going to be a lot more comedy for me down the road. You guys are more than welcome to hit me back if you guys ever need me to come back, because there's going to be a lot more fun things to come in the future.
Oh yeah, nice. That's just what I was going to say. Let's just set up another time for you to come back on.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I always love helping out people. I'm always trying to make time. I know my busy is pretty hectic, but I love this industry and love helping out people so much that I'm willing to put my own time into helping others. So.
All right. Well, thank you again for coming on and speaking with us, and it's been so much fun. It's almost 3 o'clock.
Almost on for an hour, so thank you so much, guys, for having me on.
All right, thank you, and we'll talk to you soon.
Absolutely,
I was fine, and then I'm like, oh fuck, we're alive. I'm like, I can't just edit my blunders out. No.
No, oh, we're still on Periscope.
God damn it.
Now we're not. Alright, Periscope's done. Alright, I am Dick Nutbutt.
And I'm S. Albert.
And that was Celebrity Interview Season 2 with Cooper Harrison.
We are Hijinks TV.
We'll be back next week with Kenny G from Toasted Comedy. I finally don't feel bad about using the weed background that we have for our interviews.
No worry, I'm a pretty relaxed person.
Alright, just 2 more faces. Sweet.
Apologies for this taking so long.
Oh, no worries. I got plenty of patience. I just have to be out of here by 3 o'clock, which is only an hour because I have a meeting to go to. So.
Alright, perfect. We will be done by then.
Alright, cool. Are you going to be doing this live on YouTube or Twitch, or do you need a link sent out?
Right now we're just going to, I'm just gonna record it onto my computer.
Okay.
I was thinking about going on Periscope.
Yeah.
So, where did you want him, Dick? You wanted him on top of the weed leaf?
Yeah, over on that side, I think. Alright. Periscope.
Yeah, by the way, welcome to my shitty shed, which I do my podcast in. Yeah, I have a very loud voice, so I'm told to do my podcast in the shed. It's pretty big, so. Well, I've been investing into trying to get foam, soundproof foam to put on the walls there.
Yeah.
To make it into a booth, so it's just gonna take a while to do that. So.
And it was Coop's Corner, right, for Twitter?
I've got 2. I've got my Verified Coop, which is my personal one, and I've got the Coop's podcast, which is basically I give everybody a follow back on that one.
Oh, I got it right here. Maybe. I lost my. There it is. It's on my tripod. Alright. 4 viewers already. Yeah, we're pretty excited when we released the trailer for our video, so we went down to
Yeah, I saw it.
under the bridge here, and yeah, everybody was staring at us as we were walking out with a big cock bong. It was great.
Oh, I've seen crazier bongs than that one.
Like one of my friends that comes over, he won't even touch it. He was like, dude, it's a big cock. I was like, no, man, it's a bong. Just has a flaccid
Bong is a bong, man.
I think it's the mouthpiece that really trips him out. It actually looks like a urethra.